Paula Price with Healthy Fit, and this is Stretch, Mobility, and Recovery. This workout today is specifically selected exercises for those of you who work a lot in a seated position, perhaps at a desk, and we want to do some release to open up the chest and that forward posture that we get from working at the desk or on our computers or phones, and really open up our posture. We are going to start with our feet because in my experience, we don't do enough foot fitness exercises, and so it's always a good idea to stretch out the feet as the first part of the kinetic chain. Today I will be demonstrating some movements using the chair if you're not getting down on the floor. We're using our Rollga tools, the Rollga and the activator. If you don't have the Rollga, you can use any foam roller. And if you don't have the activator, you can use a lacrosse ball, tennis ball, racket ball. We are also going to be using a light resistance loop and a resistance band. I've got my Stroops band right here. Mine has this fabric sleeve on it. If you don't have one that has this protective sleeve, please make sure you check it for rips or tears before today's session. So we're going to start on the floor with that foot fitness element. Grab your activator. You can also do this seated in a chair as well. Starting at the heel, press, quarter turn, and release. Working up through the arch of the foot to the balls of the feet and back down. Now, if you don't have this ball, you can also manually manipulate pressing with your thumbs in an X pattern to do the same release. All right, let's do that on the other side, shall we? Starting at the heel, working our way up. My little gym cat wants to be a part of today's exercise. All right, we're also going to do that on the calves, working our way all the way around the calf muscle, either with your hands squeezing and massaging. Your thumbs probably aren't going to be enough pressure, but we can use our hands to squeeze, or use your activator, press, rotate, and release all the way around the back of a calf. Your calf muscle has 3 muscle heads, so we want to get each of them. Notice any discomfort that you might have. Any tension that we need to deal with. Let's do that on the other side, shall we? Working our way around. All right, now that we've done some release with that, we're going to take our Rollga and place our calves in the valleys here. You can also do this on the wall if you're not getting down on the floor. Rock back and forth. You can either elevate yourself or scoot your bottom as you go. We can also cross one leg over the other to get a little bit more pressure. Switch legs. All right, to come to a standing position, we'll be using both of these tools standing as well. I like to have the bumpy side of my activator face up, wrapping your toes over the top of the ball for stretch. That feels really good. As we move down through the foot, you can rock front and back, side to side, applying the amount of pressure that feels good to you. Self-myofascial release is a very individualized process. Some people may have tension in different areas, and your muscles may respond better to softer or more hard massage. So do what feels good to you. Let's do that on the other side, wrapping the toes over the top, stretching out, working our way down, rocking side to side, back and forth. All right, now set that aside, using our Rolga. On the center peak, you're gonna rock back and forth, and then hold that stretch at the calf. Let's do that on the other side, rocking back and forth, and hold. All right, now that we've gotten our calves and our toes loosened up, we're gonna move into some foot fitness. Find that center grounding, that you're evenly placing the weight in the balls of your feet, your heels, and each one of your toes. Now lift up those toes and spread them out wide, place them down, and grip them so that you're on the arch of the foot. You see that activation. Lift, spread, lower. Lift, spread, and lower. Now let's just move that big toe up and down. If you need to look down at the toe so that you can get it to do what you want it to do, you can. Now let's rock pronate and supinate your feet. Warming up the ankles, getting a little bit of mobility there, just gently stretching everything out. All right, we are going to move on to our SMR for our back, shoulders, neck, and lats to really open up our posture. So we're going to start with our upper back with a Rolga. Again, you can do this on the wall if you are not getting down on the floor. Your spine is going to be in the center of your Rolga. I'm going to start at my mid back, or where my bra line might be, supporting my head here, slowly rolling back. Noticing any areas that you have tension. Keeping some space under your chin. And one more. Now we can rest our head on the Rolga and just allow the Rolga to hit the pressure points at the occipital connection there. Nice deep breaths. As we do all of these releases, one of the things that we want to focus on is releasing tension in the superficial muscles, having deep breaths, and having that TPC alignment. This cat's going to make sure I breathe deeply into my chest, aren't you? One more deep breath. All right. We are going to take our activator Any area that you had tension in your upper back or shoulders, we're going to do 2 releases on each side. So the best way to do this is to place the activator where you felt that tension or that sensitive area, and then roll onto it. If you don't get the area quite right, make an adjustment. You can wiggle and wobble a little bit on it to release the tension. And we're going to hold it on this area until that tension kind of melts away. So the fascia tissue is like Velcro. It's stuck together, and once we get this release and release the fascia tissue, it's like that Velcro becoming unstuck and we have better mobility. Let's move to another area now. Apparently the cat thinks I need a shower. He's cleaning my hair. All right, breathe into the stretch. If you don't have that area quite right, just adjust it. I don't feel like I'm hitting the right spot. There we go. Breathing into that stretch. Let's move to the other side. Same thing. We want to do both sides because a lot of times if we're tight on one side, we don't realize how tight we are on the other side, and we have pulling on opposite sides of our spine. We want to make sure we release that. Again, nice deep breaths. If you're doing this workout with me today and these exercise movements, and you have a little exercise buddy like me, I would love for you to tag me in a sweaty selfie with your exercise buddy. They're great for your mental health, and as long as you can safely do your exercise without stepping on them or hurting yourself, they can be a lot of fun to have with you. Nice deep breaths. All right, roll off that ball and remove it. Going to the lats now. So the lat is a long muscle from our lower back, and it's very wide and comes up and connects in our shoulder. And a lot of times lats are over tight from posture. So we are going, again, you can do this on the wall. We're going to use this top valley. Most of the roga is going to be behind us, starting at the top of the armpit. My bottom leg is straight, my top leg is bent, and that's my pusher leg. So as I push, I'm going to roll down to my bottom rib and then back up. You can lean forward a little bit. I feel a little tension here, so I'm going to hold it. This is probably an area that's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable because it is so tight and we don't stretch it out enough. Keep breathing. Rolling it back. All right, let's do that on the other side. Same thing. The ribs are going to go in this valley. Starting up at the armpit, bottom leg is straight, your top leg is your pusher. And again, you can lean back slightly to get a different part of the angle of the muscle, or lean forward. If you feel a tender area, you can certainly hold it on this spot. Like right now, I have a little bit of tension right there. I feel a knot or a trigger point. Breathe into that area. Try to relax the muscles and let that tension just melt away. Once you feel it melt away, then you can move to another spot. Rolling down and back. On this side, I have a lot more tension on the top by my armpit, so that's where I'm going to focus. All right. Now that we've loosened up a little bit, I'm going to come to the front with my chair so you can see a little bit better. We are, now that our neck's loosened up a little bit from that practice, we are going to do some neck mobility exercises. The first, I'm going to turn to the side. So ideally we want to have that hip in alignment with the shoulder. And my shoulder does roll forward a little bit. So opening this up is going to help with that alignment, and we want our head to be in alignment with our shoulder and our hip, everything in alignment. Now you do have some natural curves to your spine, but we don't want our head leaning forward like this because our head is heavy, and that creates, as we're working or typing or just having bad posture, it creates a lot of tension right here at the base of the neck and into the shoulders, and can cause pain and actually dysfunction in how you move. So get our good posture, stack those vertebrae one on top of the other. Gently put like 2 or 3 fingers on the chin, and we're just gently gonna push it back. Relaxing the muscles. We shouldn't feel any tension back here, right? All right. Same tall posture. You're evenly placed your sits bones on your chair or on the floor. Rotate your head and look over your right shoulder, center, left, center, right, center, left, center. Notice if you have any additional tension that you need to work on. Now, let's stretch the neck just slightly. Tilt your head to one side, keeping space between your shoulder and your ear. Bring your hand up to your head if you'd like a little bit more stretch. You should be feeling in the outside here, yes? So we're not pulling on the head, just gently resting the hand there to give us a little bit more stretch. All right, let's do that on the other side. Tip at the hip, or at the neck. Space under your ear. If you want a little bit more pressure, just gently place that hand on top of the head. That stretch feels good. All right, we're gonna move back down to the floor. This next exercise, if you're not getting down on the floor, you could do it on a firm mattress, or you could try to do it along the wall. I'm gonna use a rolled up towel. Now, depending on how much your head is in that forward head posture, you may need more than one towel. And the purpose of the towel is to release some of the pressure on the head. So I'm going to roll it up, and as I lay back, I'm going to place it either under my neck or my head to feel like I can relax those shoulder muscles. Now, as I do this, we want to get that good alignment. You might have some space under your lower back, that nice neutral spine. We want to breathe deeply, and as we breathe, We're going to just gently nod our head forward and back. I feel like this exercise works better on the floor or when you're laying supine versus standing, because you're really able to better relax those muscles and get that good alignment. Kitty wants to make sure, our Coal Cat wants to make sure that you're breathing into your TPC, which is below your belly button, right where he is. So I'm going to try to lift him up. Breathing into that space. Let's add those nods back. Neutral spine now. Let's take 3 more breaths, breathing into our rib cage and our chest. Remember that our rib cage, we want it to expand out as well as up and down. 3-dimensional breathing. You're not holding any tension in your upper shoulders or your neck. If you need to adjust your little towel, you can. All right. Moving into our next exercise, plank pull-aparts. You can either do this on the chair or on the floor. We want to have a nice long line through the spine. You can also do this on the wall too. The wall lends itself to this exercise because you can pull a little bit better than you can on a chair. So the idea is to place your hands shoulder width apart on the wall. Imagine I have a fake wall here. Stepping back into your plank, and as you press into the wall, as you exhale, I want you to pull your arms towards the outside. So that's going to help open up and activate the muscles to open up your chest. Let me show you what it looks like on the floor. So we have our hands stacked under our shoulders, soft elbows. Pulling open. Looking out, it's important to look out in front of your hands or over the front of your chair or at the wall right in front of you for that nice neutral spine. Soft through the neck. Again, if your hands are on the floor, you're pulling towards the outside of your mat to help open up your chest. Pulling to the outside of your chair, pulling to the away from you on the wall. And rest. For our next exercise, we have an overhead press pattern with our resistance band. So I'm going to come to a standing position here. I've got my resistance band and I'm going to have loose. I'm going to bring tension so that it's tight, but I'm not killing the band. I want it shoulder width apart. Bringing it up overhead, reaching up and back down to about 90 degrees. Now again, we're pulling slightly to the outside to keep that tension, thinking open and wide. We only want to reach up as far as we can without arching our back or rolling our shoulders to the front. Think open and wide. So probably from about 90 degrees or down to right about here. No tension in the neck. Think open and wide. So as you do an exercise like this, think about your scapula rotating and wrapping around your rib cage. We're going to think about that again for the next exercise as well. Grab that lightweight loop. I like to tuck my hands in here. We're shoulder width apart. Now, instead of an overhead press pattern, we're going to do a push-pull. So I'm going to keep my arms open and wide, and I'm going to press the front and back. So push and pull, keeping that alignment. It's a good idea to do this one on the wall. Think about that scapula wrapping around your rib cage. Couple more. Push and pull. I'm rotating to the side so you can see from another angle. Push and pull. One more. All right. The next exercise is a reclined pull-up with with your resistance band. So this is one that if you have a Stroop's door spine or a TRX, or I have my booty kicker here, I'm going to use that to do this exercise. You could also wrap a resistance band around a pull-up bar that hangs from a door. You want this on something sturdy above you. Okay, so for this exercise, I've actually wrapped it around my stationary bike. Nice long line to the spine, leaning back, pull. Now when I pull, if you need to scoot forward, you can. Don't extend your arms back past your body line. I want you to keep that in alignment, keeping space under your chin. There's not a lot of friction here. You can use a fairly lightweight band. We want to practice that pulling pattern. Thinking our chest open and wide. Now, if you have a door spine or you have a TRX, you could also do this from a standing position. Or using a chair, sitting at the front of a chair. Really depends on what equipment you have as what's the best option. And rest. All right, our next exercise, sun salutation with plank push-ups. I'm going to do this on the chair. You can also do it on the floor or the wall for those push-ups. Again, because we want to try to open up the chest. We want to keep that good alignment of our thoracopelvic cylinder and our neck. Think long spine, chest open and wide. Big inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step it out into your plank. Nice long line through the spine, pressing into the wall, pressing into your chair. Think open and wide chest. Looking out over the front of your chair, in front of your hands on the floor, so that you have that good neutral spine alignment. One more. And rest. Shake it out. Resistance band chest press. So you can do this seated on the floor with your band wrapped around your bar. You can use this using a door spine as the attachment, or today I have my chair with a loop in the back and I'm going to use that. You could also, if you don't have any of those, just wrap the band around the back of your back. It's going to have less resistance potentially depending on the length of your band for that option. So I'm going to put my band, even my straps, feed it through here. And then I'm going to sit on that band, or that chair rather. One band on each side. So our arms are at chest height here. We want the chest open and wide. One arm is going to be extended. That is our stability hand. The other arm is going to press out and in. Think chest open and wide. Picture that scapula wrapping around the rib cage as we press. How you doing? Nice tall posture, deep breaths. Okay, let's do that on the other side. Your stability hand, this is now your pressing hand. Chest press, open and wide, pressing to the front. Do you feel that scapula moving around the side? So your scapula should kind of go like this as we press forward and then return to normal. You're doing a great job. A couple more. Again, your one arm is your stability arm. All right, release. Coming back to a sun salutation exercise. I'm gonna move my chair back. You can certainly do this on the floor or on the chair. I'll show you the chair option first. When we get to our sun salutation, we go into plank. Again, you're doing that on the chair. Think open and wide, pulling your arms towards the outside of your chair or the outside of your mat. Pressing into your down dog, you're gonna stretch right here. All right, everyone join me in sun salutation. Big inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, shoulders back. Exhale, step it out to plank on your knees or toes or on the chair. Get that nice neutral alignment. Pull those arms towards the outside of your mat or your chair. Looking out in front of your mat or your chair. Push back into your down dog, pressing those heels into the floor. Feel that good stretch in the shoulders. Nice deep breath. Come back into a plank. Drop to your knees. I'm going to show the floor option first and then the standing option. Cat-cow. Arching the back, looking forward. Pressing your spine to the ceiling, looking at your feet. Exhale. Inhale, press. Standing option. Hands are on your thighs. Arching your back, let your belly fall towards the floor. Arch your back, push it towards the ceiling, look down at your feet. Allow your breath to dictate your movement. And roll it up. All right, child's pose, shoulder stretch. This is our last exercise for today. I hope you're feeling a lot more open in your chest, feel taller, feel refreshed. Sitting option here, we're gonna sit in the chair, reaching the arms forward for child's pose, and then the shoulder stretch is gonna be here across the thigh, reaching down towards the floor in front of you. Otherwise, come down on the mat, pushing back on your heels, reaching those arms forward. Reach, so that reach is a pull, and I also want you to push back towards your heels for a really good stretch here from your pinky all the way down to your hip bone. Allow your head to relax. Arm across the thigh, reaching the opposite arm forward. It's important to take time to stretch. Sitting for long periods of time, doing desk work or working on your computer, watching TV, using your phone can all create suboptimal posture that can cause pain, reduced range of motion, and postural issues. Reach forward with the opposite arm now. Roll it up. Thank you so much for joining me for today's edition of Stretch, Mobility, and Recovery for desk work. I hope you feel open, you feel rejuvenated, your spine feels nice and tall, you have some nice deep breaths, and you're ready to be productive the rest of the day. Don't forget to tag me in your sweaty selfie, your post-workout selfie at Kella Price, at Healthy Fitness Life Coach. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at SMR Stretch. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.